right, so today's this is fathers, part 2 of fathers, daddies, and deadbeats, and the sons they raise. Fathers, daddies, and deadbeats, and the sons they raise. All right, so we're going to get straight into it. You already know what it's talking about. Some of you all have children, but some of you all are daddies. Some of you got children, and some of you are deadbeats. It's very few fathers in here. And some of that is by your own choice. And some of it is you ain't never seen a father. You don't really know what it is, and you are learning as you go. It's a detriment to your son or your daughter that you don't know how to be one. But that's why you're in here today. And Lord's willing, you take these scriptures, you apply them, meditate on them, and receive the word, the engrafted word of God. So examine yourself. Which category do you fall in? Are you a father, you a daddy, or you a deadbeat? So pull up that first thumbnail for me that I was telling you about. This is what I came up with meditating on this class 2 weeks ago about what a father is. So fathers, they build mentally strong and confident boys by guiding, talking to, and leading them through their toughest years of life until they become men that are able to handle those tough situations on their own, while being affectionate enough to show them what love is supposed to look like. That's what a father does. Let's see what a daddy is. Daddies. Now, like I said last week, I'm not talking about the term that your son just uses calling you daddy. That's natural for him. I'm talking about the essence of who you are as a man when it comes to your son, the attributes you have when it comes to your son. This is what daddies do. They are only present when there is a problem. This is living in the house or outside the house. You are only present when there is a problem and occasionally show attributes of a father, but not consistently enough to make anyone believe that he is one. They also provide the necessities of life, but not much more to their sons. They are just there. That's daddies. Only to be the enforcer, but you don't do nothing else to build your son up to be a man. You just there. Let's see what deadbeats are. Deadbeats only show up on special occasions and pay child support. They know nothing about their kids and don't care to know because they are more about themselves than the life they created. They occasionally show attributes of a daddy by providing the necessities of life when practically begged to do it. That's a deadbeat. And we've all met a lot of daddies and deadbeats, but very few fathers. And your actions prove that a lot of us have never had fathers, because we see it in your sons. And as I said last Sabbath, the Young Prophets program has revealed what category a lot of you brothers are in, and we know. That's why we're doing this class, and hopefully you can glean from it and get out of the category. There's a lot of daddies and deadbeats in here, not actual fathers. All right, so let's go to Romans 15:4. Read it when you get it.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
So this Bible's written. This is why it's called the book of life, because it'll teach us every aspect in our life that we need to measure up to the fullness and stature of Christ, and eventually reach to the level of being gods once again on the earth like we once were. We're just in a lower state of it right now. So we got to learn from what is in here, and that's going to take studying, that's going to take meditation, that's going to take prayer, that's going to take experience to actually learn what the scripture, because we're going to pull scriptures out today that I'm talking about you, but you're going to see how the Most High is a father. He's a father. He's not a daddy or he's a deadbeat. He's a father. That's why you don't read nothing about daddies and deadbeats in the Bible. It's only fathers. Because the Most High shows you exactly what a father's supposed to be like, but you got to learn how to extract that out. Go to Proverbs 17:6. So we got to learn fatherhood because it's important. It's literally setting up the nation, because as you all know, as a nation, we have not gotten better. We have declined generation after generation after generation because there has been a lack of fathers in the house. So fatherhood is important. You're important. Every morning you wake up, you got a job. Whether you go and clock in 9 to 5, even if you don't do that, you got kids, you on the job automatically. As soon as you wake up, soon as they wake up, you on the job. Because sometimes they wake up for you, come wake you up. You on the job. Proverbs 17:6.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 6.
This is why it's so important.
Children's children are the crown of old men,
Uh-huh.
and the glory of children are their fathers.
Read that part again.
And the glory of children are their fathers.
So whether or not, if you brothers didn't know it, you are the glory of your sons and daughters. That's why when they look up at you with that look in their eye like you can do nothing wrong. This is daddy. Cause you are their pride and joy. They don't know nothing about God right now. They don't know nothing about no job. They don't care about no school, none of that. You are their pride and joy. Read that one more time so it can stick. I don't know if you knew you was that important as a man, being a father, but God has let you know. Read it again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 6. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers.
You are their glory. Go to Sirach 3:11. So remember that. That's why I said, whether you clock into a real job or not, you got a job to live up to every day. And a lot of us have grown up in households to where we either didn't have the father at home, or he was a deadbeat. Or he might have been a deadbeat daddy in the house, but didn't do nothing to train you up in the way you should go. And a lot of you all, you don't have pride in yourself because you didn't have a father to have pride in. So we got to build up your self-esteem through the scriptures, through the Most High's word. So read Sirach chapter 3, verse 11.
Sirach chapter 3 and verse 11. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father.
So as I said last week, it matters what type of father you are. You just can't say, I got kids. No, you can't do that, because your son, depending on what type of man you are, is the type of self-esteem or confidence that your son's going to have to be able to call you his father. That's why it says the glory of a man is from the honor of his father. As good of a man or a father as you are, that will instill confidence in your son to grow up to be is just as good, or if not better than you as a father. Not in the derogatory, negative way where some of us grew up like, I'm going to be better than my daddy because that nigga wasn't never there. So you try to be better than him in that way. But you want to be the glory of your children in the positive way where they can grow up and say, yeah, my father was in the house all my life. He was married to one woman, and I saw him go through struggles and all of that, but I don't remember him ever treating my mama wrong. And I'm going to do the same thing with my family. And this is how you build a nation. You get back to that priesthood that we are, that kingdom, right? So go to the first video, and I'm going to show you the importance of fatherhood. This is Terry Crews. He brought it out. Now, he's sitting with a bunch of women. I played this last week. We're going to play it again for those that wasn't here. Sitting with a bunch of women, and, you know, like I said, you can't tell no single mama that she ain't doing, she can't raise a child. But you can't. And I didn't have enough time to post the videos where young men stand up and say, no, she can't teach me how to be a man. It's just certain things that it takes a man to instill in a man. No shot at the single moms, because you are a single mother for whatever happens, whatever reason it might be. But when it comes to being a man, fatherhood, it takes a man to do that. You can raise him, but you can't teach him how to be a man. It's something internal about being a man. All right, so let's play this. Let's listen to Terry Crews.
I understand you have some strong views on fatherhood.
Yes,
so,
I do.
Please, take the floor.
I gotta say, I posted some things on social media, and people got angry at me. And what I said was that there are some things that only a father can give you, okay? Now, people went, wait, my mama gave me all that. I said, hold up. And this is what I believe. I believe this from my heart. You know, we care more about organic food than we do organic people. There are things that you need from your father. Your father starts out, he gives you your name. He gives you, listen.
Like in Lion King?
Like in Lion King. If you ever watch Lion King.
Now they gotta make a joke about everything. Try to downplay the man, his role.
Who you are.
Pause it. He said a man tells you who you are. A man tells you that. Because you understand that he brought you into this world. So you automatically, this is the glory that you try to attain to. So now you need some direction. A father tells you who you are. You got to tell your son who he is. He gives you his name. Give me Isaiah 43:1. Let's show you where the Most High did that.
Cap, last class, you remember, you give him purpose.
Purpose.
Show him his purpose.
Yep. This is how you know that we ain't been fathers as a nation. We will name our kids and our sons whatever feels right. We two conjunction names. You know, your mama's name's Jaquita, my name is John, so your name's gonna be John Quetta. What the hell? That don't make no sense. What does it mean? I don't know. A name means something. That's why God was, he's very particular on names when people were born. Nope. Name him John. Name him Jesus. His name's Jeremiah. His name's Ezekiel. And so on and so forth. Isaiah 43:1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 43 and verse 1. But now, thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, for thou art mine.
So God gave us our name. And who knows by showing hands, what does the name Israel mean? What does it mean? Let's see. Abiyah, you had your hand up front first. Stand up. Give him the mic. You got a mic? Okay, just say it. All right, there you go, Mike.
It means prince and power of God.
Prince of the power of God. And have overcome man. Just in that name alone, that gives us much purpose. And throughout the Bible, he explains to us what that name means, the high calling that we got to live up to. So you as fathers, the name you have given your son, now you got to instill in him, what's his purpose on? I named you this name for a reason. I hope some of y'all didn't name y'all sons' names because it sound good to the ear. Yeah, Bishop brought that out one time before in the actual video of What's My Name. Black people naming their sons Bilal. What does Bilal mean? You know why they named him that? Because it just sound good to the ear. They named their son the damn devil. Like, we got coon names and all of it. That's why a lot of us women grow up ratchet, because your name is Shanita, Netta, Aquafina, whatever it might be. And your name is Jerome and Jaquez and all kind of names. You ain't got no purpose to your life. You don't know which way you going.
Yeah, you know why? Because those names have no purpose, y'all. They're empty names.
Yep, empty.
Names filled with no life, no instruction, no purpose.
Yep.
That's
Good.
Let me get up Proverbs 22:1. Talking about that name.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches.
So as fathers, well, just like Cap bringing out, a father gives his daughter or son their name. That's the first great thing you can do for your kid. That's the first great thing you can do for them. Set them up for success by giving them a great name,
Yep.
giving them a purpose behind their name.
Yep.
Read it again.
A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches.
Why? Because riches gonna come and they gonna go, but your name gonna stay with you.
Yep.
And you have to walk you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? You
walk
have
according
right.
to
You
your
have to
name.
walk according to your name.
Hey, that's heavy you bring it out, because when we on the streets and we just happen to meet a brother that we are teaching, and be like, what's your name? He be like, my name's Isaiah. The first thing we say, oh man, that's a powerful name. You named after the prophet Isaiah. Off top we say that because we know a name, it holds weight. So don't take that lightly when you're giving your son his name, because it's gonna set up his steps. And you can't walk around. It's hard to walk around and be a stick-up kid, but your name is Ezekiel. Just Abraham. It just don't match up. It don't. Something's in your spirit's gonna prick you. You gonna be like, I shouldn't be out here doing this. Let me get it right. My daddy named me Jeremiah for a reason. All right, so let's go back to the video.
Yes, he tells you who you are. That is the point. And the second thing he gives you is your inheritance. Now, that doesn't mean money. You inherit his story. You understand what I'm saying? When you have an inheritance, it's more than that. It's your father's story. Whatever your father was, whatever belongs to you. The third thing that your father gives you is your security. And what I mean, and I'm not talking about just, protection and the whole thing, which that it does include. I'm talking about your confidence. Because when your father tells you you can do something, you believe you can do it. That's the truth.
I'm a single mother.
Okay, talk to me.
I'm a single mother, and I can
Pause
guarantee
it.
I can give it.
Now look at this. Here, single women, they proud, it's natural, because they playing two roles, so you can't tell them wrong. But who understands what Terry Crews is talking about when it said that a man, when he tells you you can do it, you believe you can? Whoever experienced that from a man? Now, you might not have a father in the house, but even if you played sports or something like that, you had a coach that believed in you that you could do something, and that gave you the moxie to even try to do it. Like, okay, the courage, I'm doubting myself right here. You want me to really lay on, like we used to do back in Little League, you want me to lay on my back, and you're going to blow the whistle, and I gotta get up before this dude over here and knock him out. You can do it. And you be like, okay, I'm going to try it. And you get up and you try it. Yep. That's just from a sports aspect. So when you got a father telling you, well, go out there and try it. And we're going to go over the scriptures where the Most High did that with us. He did that with us. You believe it when a man can tell you that. It's just something about it that you believe in when he tells you. Maybe it's the voice, the spirit in him, whatever it is. But that's how important it is. Yeah, go ahead, officer.
Check. Yeah, so like in basketball, you see a lot of mediocre basketball players go to college, but they don't become superstars until they coach. Like LeBron was good, but he wasn't that good until a coach told him he was great, or somebody else told him he was great. And then like D Wade, he was okay in high school and college.
Yep.
But when Pat Riley told him he was great, he became a superstar.
Yep, he sure did.
Hey, it's something about as men. As young men, it's something about hearing you can do it from somebody that has already done it, that look like you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like I know we're using the worldly term, whatever. As a coach, okay, I know he played football. He telling me I can be great. Well, then I'm gonna run through a wall for this dude.
Yeah.
The same thing as fathers. We build our sons up to be great, but then we also have to show them that we ourselves are walking to be great.
Yep.
And when we show them that, they're going to look up to you and be like, I want to go to camp. Like a dog tell me every day, Daddy, you going to camp today? I'd be like, yeah. Yes. That's what they do every time. Yes. I want you to go to camp. Can I go to camp with you? Nah, you're not ready yet. But that's something that they see us do every day, and they striving for that thing.
Yep. All praises. Let's go back to the video.
I'm a single mother, and I can guarantee you I can give Evan every one of those things also.
I think that what Terry is talking about is when a man
Pause
is
it real
in there
quick.
and
Pause
he's
it.
doing it the right way.
The black single woman had to come back and correct her. Like, All right, keep quiet. You don't know what this is about right here, because we a nation of fatherless sons. So I know exactly what he mean when he's talking about. So let me correct you.
She's
Esau.
trying to put everybody back to sleep.
Yeah, that's what she's doing. Go ahead.
When you got a mother and a father, because of course when you're talking about single motherhood, we have to. We have to do that. But when you're talking about a man and the family, what I appreciate about a father, because I think you do need a father and a mother, and I think there are things that a father can do that a mother can't. Like fathers are able to see, the tears don't bother a man as much. Like there's a way, my friend Bone Hampton, who has a son, he's raising him beautifully, and I have my son. That boy will cry, and Bone will say, get up, wipe it up, you can do it. Me with Jeffrey, he starts crying. I'm like, what's going on, baby? I don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm taking away from mothers. I'm just saying that
You are, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because this idea, and it's a wonderful idea, it's a great idea, but you are taken from mothers, because the mothers whose husbands maybe have died. You know, it's tough enough to raise. Let me finish.
The story. You still get that from your father.
No, listen, I was raised by a single mother, and the story I got from my dad was you're kind of on your own, babe. That's the story I got. What I got from my mother was
she had a deadbeat daddy. That's all it was. She talking down on man because she was raised with a deadbeat daddy and not a father. That's the viewpoint she's seeing from. Terry Crews is speaking from the viewpoint of I had a father that believed in me and told me that I can do whatever I put my mind to. And I did it. That's two totally different aspects.
So basically, they chopping it all up into every nigga is a deadbeat daddy.
Yep. That's what she's trying to say. Go to the next video, the importance of fathers, from the correctional officer.
Please welcome Correctional Officer Calvin Williams.
Wow. This event is really looking good. You guys, everybody's respecting one another, and it's really turning out nice. I want to get right to the point here. Basically,
Turn it down a
okay,
little.
who am I? Everybody knows my name is Officer C. Williams. I've been called Billy D. and called Ray Parker. Some people call me the Reverend because I do some singing around here from time to time. But today what I want to talk about is my biggest job. That's being a father. I look at a lot of these young men in here, and I see like these pictures, holding the football, got all of that going on. I see that all the time. I see so many people walking around here that show so much potential, but maybe somewhere along the way, that guidance wasn't there. So what I'm trying to talk to y'all about today is each and every one of you, be it you're a father, or be it that you have the ability to talk to children in whatever way. I just want to point out the fact that me personally, I didn't have my father. When I grew up at the age of 6, my family broke up. I came from Detroit, east side of Detroit. Came out here and started a new life. Okay, there was a lot of atrocities that go on. I can go the long story. Everybody got theirs. Okay, I'm not trying to go into all of that. But the bottom line was my pops wasn't there. I would see men, they looked like my dad. I missed him. I would want to talk. He wasn't available. It's okay, cool. I grew up, very masculine kid. Okay, love girls, hit hard, like to play ball, like to play basketball, everything masculine. But the thing was the means of passage was missing. I didn't have one. My means of passage was how hard I could hit. My means of passage was how big was my knot in my pocket. My means of passage was how well could I hold my liquor. My means of passage were all of these negative influences because I was influenced by those who didn't have an influence themselves. Blind leading the blind. A bunch of kids out there trying to survive. So I can't take claim to being so smart and making all of the right decisions. I'm here because God allowed me to be here. I didn't grow up saying I'm going to be a correctional officer one day. No, I had much dreams, more grandiose, if you will. Figuring I'm a very talented guy and I could take it anywhere. But God places you exactly where you need to be. I'm very happy to be here. I lost my wife less than 2 years ago, 23 years. All right. Okay, I got 3 beautiful children. Not having my dad, man, I got a firm fight to be a father. Didn't realize how difficult it was when mama was gone, until she was gone. Being a provider is a piece of cake compared to being a single parent. Being involved. I look at a lot of you, and I see my son's face when I look at you. And so it gives me a fierce fight. And I'm asking all of you. I hear some of you on the phone. You know, that's my job. I got to listen sometime. You know? And I hear some of you talking to your sons, to your daughters. That's the difference. You see, your presence in their lives gives them validation. They ain't got to find it in the streets. Men who have jobs, busting your tail for that dollar and forgetting about the child that's watching you every day. What's most important right now is to pay attention. We as fathers are logically capable of being able to watch our child and say, you know what, I see that habit, I'm going to curb it right now and get them where they need to be. That's how we do it. And if we do it, if enough of us are trying, you don't have to be way up here, way down there. It's just the fact that you say, I love you, I'm watching you. It makes a world of difference, man. Because it's that guy in the street that say, hey, man, I got you. And he ain't really got it. Ain't nobody gonna ever have you like your daddy got you. When you love your child and you understand the pains of life, you will fight. And I ask all of you, men, stand up, be fathers. And this will change tomorrow, I promise you.
I want y'all to see how it's a thin line between a deadbeat, the father. Those are thin lines, because even though you're a provider, you bring home the money and everything, you provide a roof over their head. But if you, like he said, pay attention, because you're supposed to be able to curb those behaviors in the household. Yeah, that's because if you don't have that watchful eye and you let certain behaviors go unchecked in the house, it's gonna fester into something that's uncontrollable. And the next thing you know, that same child gonna grow up and look at you. Yeah, you gave me the fast car, Dad. Yeah, you gave me the brand new shoes. But when I was dealing with anger, what did you do? You threw money at it.
Hey. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a thin line. Though you could be the best provider, but if you don't look into the behaviors, check these little things that go unchecked in your child's lives, that goes a lot. Real, very, very thin line.
In the future, to destroy them.
Hey, and I also tell you that it's things that as a father you see before your wife sees them. Or you see something that's like a red flag and they be like,
hey, listen,
what's the problem?
Listen. I'm going to tell you a story. So here you go.
Hey, I got one too.
Hey, bring it out. So listen now. I know. We don't got time. But listen now. Here we go. I'm in the house. And I gave my wife $200 cash. I said, hold it down, put it in your purse. And my wife had her purse wide open. And I see my daughter walking around the house playing around. And then my daughter came to me, Dad, I see something. Look at it. I said, what you talking about? She said, come. I said, oh, okay, you see the money. All right, okay. Just to go tell your mom, go lock up her purse. Take the purse, go ahead, go lock it up. Now I go to my wife, I'm like, she's starting to know what money is now. Okay, though she don't go to the store using the money, but she got a big, heavy piggy bank waiting in her room. And her main mindset is whatever coin she gets, she'll go ahead and throw it in her piggy bank. So guess what? You gotta check those little habits, those little minor. It seems innocent, but still. Hey, I told my wife, listen, be careful. Don't leave this money out. You just in case that might rise in her spirit. Listen, control that right now. All right, lock up your purse, zip it up. Go ahead, because it might be in a piggy bank.
I ain't gonna tell no story, because I got plenty of them. But just to go into what the brother was saying, it's our job to watch out for them things. That's what I said, you got to watch, because a lot of us are not watching. And then we only, now when stuff hit the fan, Now it's like, okay, what do I do? Now we supposed to see it now. Like I could tell you what type of spirit my kids already got. Why? Because we watch. Okay, she got a lying spirit already. I can see it already. She gonna be deceitful as hell. That's the spirit we gotta watch out for.
Yep. So basically what he's getting to, he's talking about be involved, right? Pay attention. Go to Matthew 6 and 9. We're going to go through these scripts real quick. Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. Let's get to it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father.
Our what?
Our Father.
Jesus Christ is telling you who is in the heaven. Read it again.
Our Father.
So the Most High is our Father, right? Go to 1 John chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. So we already laid the foundation. We know who we're dealing with. Our Father. 1 John 3, let's read 1 and 2.
The book of 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not.
Read on.
Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
So we know we got our Father, God sits in the heavens, and we know we are the sons of God, right? Remember, he was talking about pay attention. Sirach 17. He said, be involved, pay attention. Let's see how much paying attention and involved God is in his sons and daughters' lives. Sirach 17, and let's read 17 through 20.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 17.
Through 19. Go ahead.
For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion, whom being his firstborn,
go ahead,
he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love, doth not forsake him.
So that's the paying attention. He does not forsake any one of us. Although we may feel like we out here, this is how you know that God never forsook you as his son. You living proof sitting in here right now. When you was out there, didn't know which way to go, which way to turn, you was wondering who you was, you felt like you was nobody, God was dealing with you. He was whispering in your ear, leading you step by step to come in here to bring you home so eventually your big brother can pick you up. So God has never forsook us. He's always paying attention. Verse 19.
Verse 19. Therefore, all their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways.
His eyes are what?
Continually upon their ways.
See, God ain't no daddy or he ain't no deadbeat. He's a father that pays attention to each and every one of our ways. And he curbs it by the discipline that comes through the leaders he set up. If he see you got a lying spirit or you deal deceitfully or you don't seek counsel, guess what? He's going to put it on our spirit, and the next thing you know, it's going to be right in front of your face. So same way with your kids. You got to be involved, fathers. You can't neglect it and turn a blind eye to it, because what it'll do is your sons will turn into degenerate men. And thus the cycle continues. And a lot of us, you don't pay attention to your kids. You do not. And as I said, the young prophets has revealed you don't pay attention to your sons. I asked one brother last week, what's your son's favorite color? I don't know that. I said, damn, how old is he? 16, 17. I said, 16, 17 years old? You don't know his favorite color? In 16 years? You don't pay attention to your son.
That means you ain't even had a conversation.
In 16 years.
Just a provider.
Just a provider.
That's it. He just makes the money. That's it.
Yep. And another way about that curbing, Cap, the Lord established laws before we was even here on the earth. Mm-hmm. He knew exactly what his children would deal with. Yep. Therefore, he automatically, from the beginning of time, made laws, statutes, and commandments. That is how he also curbs our spirits, curbs those wrongful things that he knew we would dabble in.
Yep. Go to Matthew 6:31. So God's involved. He's paying attention. None of our unrighteous deeds, none of our ways, he does not see. He nourishes us. He disciplines us. The way he's nourishing our spirit, he speaks to us. Every time you open up the Bible, that's your Father talking to you. A lot of y'all don't have conversations with your sons enough. Read it, Matthew 6, 31, 34.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 31. Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things.
See, that's what I said. Most time, he's a father. You can't put him in no other category. He knows everything that you need. Go ahead.
But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Go to Matthew 10 and 30. Because we going on, because he said he pays attention. He's involved, right? Matthew chapter 10, verse 30.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 30. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered.
That's paying attention. That is paying attention. That's detailed. He knows how many hairs is in your head. How many of you can say you know everything about your son? You know what they like, what they don't like, what upsets them, what they do like, what's their favorite cartoon, favorite color. If you can't say that, then you're not in the father category. Christ said, God said, I know the number of hairs on your head. Go to Psalms 139.
Hold up. Read on real quick. Read on.
Verse 31. Fear ye not, therefore. Ye are of more value.
Oh, read that again. You are what?
Ye are of more value.
Come on.
Than many sparrows.
You see that? So the Creator, he created us and he created the animals, right? Then he gave you your value. He said you are more value. Read that again.
Ye are of more value.
Come on.
Than many sparrows.
You see that? He gave you your value, how important you are.
Yep. All praises. Go to Psalms 139 and 1. So through the scriptures, God is encouraging us, letting us know how important we are.
The book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 1.
Getting some more how involved you should be as a father. Read that.
O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting and my uprising.
So that means, you know what that means? David's like, God knows where I am at all times. It ain't a time that God don't know where I am. You can't ask him and be like, oh, I don't know where he is right now. He out with his friends somewhere. His mama took him somewhere.
You know, Cap, that bothers me so much, man. When I ask, where is a child of mine? And the answer is, I don't know.
You got to look around.
Oh, my goodness, that bothers me so much. I don't even know right now.
Ask his mama. Daddy's a deadbeat. Oh, ask his mama where he is. Because I don't even care enough to know.
I don't know.
Letting his mama raise him. And I'll just bring home the turkey bacon. Read verse 2 again.
Psalms chapter 139, verse 2. Thou knowest my down sitting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off.
Read up, speed up. We're going down to verse 12.
Yes, sir. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways.
God knows me. Go ahead.
For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me.
How do you know all of his stuff about me, God? How? Go ahead.
It is high. I cannot attain unto it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall I find thine hand. Even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me.
So God is always with his children. He always knows where they are on the planet Earth. Can you say the same as a father? Read on, verse 11.
Verse 11. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day, and darkness and the light are both alike to thee.
So you need to be so much of a father that your son has it implanted in his mind, I can't hide nothing from my daddy. Because a lot of brothers would be like, nah, you can't hide nothing. I can't hide nothing from my mama because if I, my eye twitch, she know if I'm lying or not. Most men can't say that about their sons because you don't pay enough attention to them to know the little nuances of how they act or the way they are. It takes something major for you to find out, oh, damn, it's a problem at school. He's getting bullied. Yeah, Daddy, I've been trying to tell you that for the last 8 months that they've been picking on me at school. Oh, I didn't. Why didn't you say something before? You weren't paying attention to me. Go ahead, officer. You want to bring something out real quick? Okay. All right. Now let's go to the next video.
Can I pull a script real quick?
Go ahead.
Jeremiah 1:5. Jeremiah 1:5, real quick. Gotta read quick.
The book of Jeremiah.
I'm sorry, man. This right here just stuck out to me. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Let's see how good our Father is. Go.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee.
Read.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
So remember, we're going back into that name as well. God says, before you was even formed, I knew you. I knew who you were. I knew what type of person you would be. Why? Because I already ordained you to be a prophet. I'm done.
All right. Go to that next video. So he's saying he gave him his purpose in his life before he even popped out. And God is so in tuned and so much of a great father that he ain't gonna leave it to happen's chance. That's why a lot of you ain't been put to death. A lot of y'all should have been dead long time ago because you've been wanting to do your own thing. But God said, no, I made you. I brought you into this damn earth and I can take you out. But I ain't ready to. You going to be a prophet, like I said. Some of you don't even do that. You let your son choose his own path. Turn out to be non-binary. Play that video. Play that video.
Hi, I'm Dr. Meg Meeker, and the reason I'd like to talk about fathers is because our culture really diminishes the importance of fathers. I feel and I've seen that it's extremely important for kids to have involved dads. They don't need perfect dads, but just involved dads. So today what I would like to do is talk about 5 things that are very important for every father to do for his kids. The first one I'd like to talk about is giving kids attention. You know, many fathers feel like, oh, their kids are so involved in friendships and television or homework or sports that their kids really don't need them. Kids who get attention from their dads understand that their dads want their company. And this makes kids feel so important. So dads don't have to spend a lot of time with their kids every day, but just little bits of time, maybe even 15 minutes a day. And the time they spend doesn't have to be fancy or well thought out, or they don't even need to spend a lot of money. Things like if you're going to go change the oil in your car on a Saturday morning, ask your kids to come with you, or one of your kids. Take them for breakfast on a Saturday morning. Drive them to band practice and just ask how they are. So giving kids a little more attention every day can be a huge game changer, whether it's a son or daughter.
Now, I'm not going to keep cutting y'all. These videos is cutting you already because I guarantee some of y'all don't spend 15 minutes a day with your sons.
Cap, I'm gonna tell you something. Me and the wife, we just did a what's it called? A planner?
A day planner?
Yeah, a year planner. Schedule. Mm-hmm. And on the schedule, I put 30 minutes a day to play with the kids.
That's good.
Now, don't get me wrong. It can get annoying as hell sometimes. Yeah. But I know they be looking forward to that thing.
They do.
That makes their whole day. They good to go.
Why? Because we read it in Proverbs, you are their glory.
Yeah. And remember last time when we did the class part 1, Remember, I brought out just that little sitting down at the dinner table with the kids, going around the dinner table and asking them, how was your day? It does a lot. It goes a long way. I'm telling you, my wife came in the rooms. You don't know how important that is to the kids just for asking how their day was. Because remember, they see it on the TV all the time. They see the kids in the cartoons sitting down with their families, the father at the head of the table asking questions about their day, kids running wild at the dinner table. So likewise.
Go ahead.
Because watch this. I'm glad you said that, Cap, because it wasn't only one time in the Bible where they done that. And give me Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. Because it says 15 minutes a day, right? Let's see what God commanded us to do with our children. And let's see if it was only in the times, or was it only the kings that were spending time with their children. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
The book of Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Because the majority of married brothers would think I'll leave that up to the women. You remember the seven sons in Maccabees? See, that was the woman doing all of that. Give me Sirach chapter 30 and verse 3. Sirach chapter 30 and verse 3.
The book of Sirach chapter 30 and verse 3. He that teacheth his son.
Wait up. Who?
He that teacheth his son.
His son. The father was teaching as well. Read it again from the top.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
Read.
And before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Now watch this. Go to Tobit chapter 2. Tobit chapter 2. Now this is the funny thing about this. We're going to see it from when Tobit was in captivity, and then we're going to go to where we were in rulership. Let's see if it's any different. Tobit chapter 2 and let's read verse 1 and 2.
The book of Tobit chapter 2 and verse 1. Now when I was come home again, and my wife Anna was restored unto me, with my son Tobias, in the feast of Pentecost, which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks, there was a good dinner prepared me, in the which I sat down to eat. And when I saw abundance of meat, I said to my son.
So at the dinner table, where was his son? With him. Read on. Watch this.
I said to my son, go and bring what poor man soever thou shalt find out of our brethren, who is mindful of the Lord, and lo, I tarry for thee.
And now watch this. He did exactly what his father told him to go do. Now go to Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 20 and read verse 25. This is at a time that a father is in captivity. Now we're going to go to a time when we're in rulership. Let's see if it's any different. Let's see if our sons weren't eating at the dinner table with us.
Tobit had to go out and slave for the Assyrians and then still come home and be a father.
Exactly.
Okay. So job ain't no excuse.
No, ain't no job, no excuse.
Right. I'm glad you said that.
All praises.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 20 and verse 25.
Read.
And the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty.
Now, think about this. Women are there, but are the women around the men? No. You have the chief captain of his army that's next to him, and you also have his son that was next to him. Read.
Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought, something hath befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean.
So just in case you'll be like, well, it's a feast day. He had to been around his father. Keep reading.
And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the 2nd day of the month.
Not the new moon. Read.
That David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meat? Neither yesterday nor today.
So every time they were at the dinner table, where was the son? Right next to the father. Right there with him. Now watch this. Remember, the guy says the father would be there to curb the son, right? Direct them. We know we had to train up our son in the way that they need to go. Go to Tobit chapter 4. Watch what Tobit tell his son. He gives them direction. Think about it. We know we needed that direction. Our father wasn't in our life. You think your son don't need the same thing? We actually had to live through it.
They need it even more.
Right.
Because the times are 10 times worse than when we was kids.
Right.
10 times worse.
Read Tobit chapter 4. Read verse 2.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 2. And said with himself, I have wished for death. Wherefore do I not call for my son Tobias, that I may signify him of the money before I die?
Signify to him of the money before I die. Now watch what he says. Read.
And when he had called him, he said, my son, when I am dead, bury me, and despise not thy mother, but honor her all the days of thy life, and do that which shall please her, and grieve her not.
Now watch this. Jump to verse 5. Read.
Verse 5. My son, be mindful of the Lord our God all thy days.
Jump to verse 6. Read.
Verse 6. For if thou deal truly, thy doing shall prosperously succeed to thee and to all.
Stop right there. Jump to verse 7.
Verse 7. Give alms of thy substance.
Jump to verse 8.
Verse 8. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly.
Jump to verse 9.
For thou layest up a good treasure.
Jump to verse 10.
Because that alms do deliver from death.
Jump to verse 11. Watch this.
For alms is a good gift unto all that give it.
Jump to verse 12.
Beware of all whoredom, my son.
Jump to verse 13.
Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren.
Jump to verse 14.
Let not the wages of any man which hath wrought for thee tarry with thee.
He's curbing his son's actions, letting them know exactly what he must do in all predicaments, in all situations. Do you do this on a daily basis? Do you do this at all? This is what you have to question for yourself. Right. These are times you have. That's why being at the dinner table, spending that little 15, 20, 30 minutes with them, you could be able to find out what problems your son or daughter is having and curbing them by using the word of God and directing his ways aright.
Yep, and that's much needed in today's society, because we have all became used to warming the food up in the microwave and sitting on the couch in front of the TV and not paying attention to nobody, just zoned out in whatever sport we might be watching, whatever TV show. All the while your kid get his plate and he go to his room, ain't no communication there, and whatever thoughts in his mind, they just running wild.
Hey, leadership, real quick. No, that Tobit 4 is a very powerful scripture. You brothers got to imagine if your son is at the age of understanding and you're teaching him that by the time he's the age of a man daily, know what type of man you have just left on earth.
Yep.
You've just left a God.
Yep. When he is old, he will not depart from it, like it says in the scriptures. Hey, play the next video. After this, play the next video.
First, let's clear up the role of what is a father. I'll begin with you, Dr. Perry.
Well, the role of a father is to establish structure. Dad's established structure. You know, earlier today, my son was trying to work my wife into getting him some soda. And
how old are your children?
7 and 10.
Oh, that's the working at age.
And so Dad had to organize some structure over the phone.
Yeah.
That he needs to apologize to his mother for his conduct and thank her for giving him water.
So dads are there for structure.
No doubt.
Okay. Your definition.
So, you know, I really believe there is a male energy in life that is part of being a whole. And I just find that kids need this person whose first tendency is to lift them up off their feet, to roll around the floor with them, to throw them high enough so the mother is looking at you like, don't you kill my baby, right? What is wrong with you, right? But that sense of, I think the yin and the yang of human beings helps make us whole people, and we are constantly reaching out for that other part of ourselves that's missing. And you can actually feel that energy, in my opinion. And I think that's part of a father's role. His role is to be this kind, loving, disciplinarian, at the same time who is saying to his children and his wife, I am here to protect you and I will give my life for you. But there comes with some demands, right? And those demands are that you're gonna have to be a good person. right? And that's when you put people in check because they accept it because they know you're prepared to go all the way.
Now, one of the things I've heard you say is that we're at ground zero at this epidemic. And I know everybody in this room, and I know many of you who are tweeting with us right now, you saw our first class, right? Everybody see it on fatherless sons.
Okay, pause it. All right. So he says like a yin and a yang. It's just something about, a father that, he take his son and he grabs him and he, it's like, young boys, they want to be tough. I see it with Captain Gad all the time. He's play fighting with Kadar and Cadmiel. They don't really know what's going on, but they like being bumped around and falling on the ground and throwing punches and all that stuff. That's not a job of a mother. A mother's job is nurturing, consoling when things go wrong, when you're sick or you're hurt, you got to scrape all of that type stuff. But it's something about every young boy that wants to be tough, wants to play with his father, wants to try to, just like a little lion cub. He know he can't beat his daddy, but he's testing out his strength, going up against him, biting on his ear and pulling on it, just to see how strong he is. It's just the male testosterone that's in us, right? But you gotta be having conversations with your son. Go to Isaiah 40. It's going into attention and building him up to be a man, and so he can be confident in himself. Only you can instill that in your son. Isaiah 40. Let's read 1 and 2.
The book of. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say real quick. Just because doing that, play fighting like that, you're gonna be able to what's the word I'm looking for? To kill all of that softness.
Oh yeah.
That softness, emotions out of him. Because he gonna cry. Hey, man, boy, stop that crying, man.
Yeah.
You big baby, stop that crying. And then he gonna suck it up and get right back to fighting.
Read that. Isaiah 40. Let's read 1 and 2.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40, and verse 1. Comfort ye my people, saith your God. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem.
So God is saying, speak ye comfortably, right? What are you telling your son? What are you instilling in your son? Are you giving him, are you guiding his steps as a father? Are you giving him direction so he don't have to learn this, especially this wicked world, on his own? How are you speaking to him? Jump over to chapter 41, and I want to read 9 and 10 to show you what God says to us.
Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 10.
Verse 9.
Verse 9. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee for the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God.
So somebody tell me right now, what is God doing to us? This is in the spirit. What's he doing to us? Can anybody pick up on it? Let me see. Is that La Wahhabia back there? Okay, La Wahhabia, what is it? What is he doing to his son?
He's molding us to be gods.
Ah, missed it. Yeah. Who got kids? Raise your hand if you got kids. Bring it up front. Give it a Natazar. That's you. I mean, that's close, but that ain't what it is. Read that.
Shalom leadership.
Shalom.
He's chastising Israel.
No, you missed it. Soldier name. You gotta remember precept upon precept, y'all. What's the precept we just read before this?
He's trying to motivate.
There you go. That's one thing. Okay, motivate. Anybody got any other words? Lemuel right there.
Shalom, leadership. Shalom. He's giving him a purpose.
He's giving him a purpose. He's instilling purpose into him, right? Yayo, you had your hand up. What was you gonna say? What was you gonna say? Say that right here. Stand up. You all got on black, with black hair and black beards. He can't tell.
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom.
He's building up your confidence.
There you go. He's encouraging his son. Right. This is him speaking comfortably to him. Do you motivate your son? Do you tell him that how much you love him or how great he is? Do you do that as a father? Do you give him what you want set every day he wake up? Does he know what his job is to do to please you? Because remember, you are the glory of your son. So every day he wake up, his thought is, what can I do to make my daddy happy, to love me more? Read verse 10 again. See what he's telling us. Read that.
Isaiah 41 in verse 10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness.
Go out there and take on the world. Go to school, do your best, whatever, and be the best in the grades that you want. If you want to be this, okay, go ahead. I'll support you in that. You want to be a newscaster? Okay, as long as it work around the Sabbath, I'm behind you. If you don't want to do that, I'll do that too. If you don't want to do that, I'll help you through it too. Whatever it might be. Let's go to verse 11 and let's jump up to, read verse 11 through 20.
Isaiah 41 and verse 11. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them and shall not find them. Even them that contended with thee, they that war against thee shall be as nothing and as a thing of naught.
I got your back. I'm going to protect you. Whatever your mind sets on righteousness and you want to do, go ahead and do it. I believe you can do it because first off, you come from the best stock of the people on the face of the earth. We Israelites. You can do whatever you set your mind to. And if you need some help along the way, don't fear because I'm right there with you.
Cap, you know what's so serious about that? That even after all of what we have done, he had our back. But the thing about it, he also had our front. Because watch this. Give me Judges chapter 3. Judges chapter 3, read verse 1 and 2. Judges chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. Before we even, just like what Gad brought out with Jeremiah 1 and 5, in the womb he knew us. Letting us know that he had things in order, had things set up to make sure we succeeded. You got that?
The book of Judges chapter 3, verse 1. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan.
So before even having to come into the land of Canaan and having to conquer all the nations that were there, God says, even after that, as much as I'm going to prove you and I'm going to show you how to fight, even if you can't win, I still got your back.
Yep.
He had us since day one.
Not much confidence that to give your son to know I'm going to go and try. And if I succeed, good. But even if I don't, I know my daddy's still going to back me up. I know he ain't going to be disappointed because I tried. Let's go back to Isaiah 41.
Isaiah chapter 41 and
verse 13.
For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee.
You see what you see the conversation God is having with his sons? Don't be fearful. You know how much if you talk to your sons and just instill some confidence and give them some encouragement, how much better they would do in school? Some of these kids got bad grades not because they ain't smart. Hell, we're the smartest people on the face of the earth. It's just they ain't got no confidence that they can go in the math class and pass it. So they sit there defeated. And then they get put through the pipeline, and then before you know it, they throw them into the LD classes, learning disorder classes, and they special ed classes, and then make you believe that your son is slow. All it is you ain't paid no attention. You ain't gave him no confidence in him. And this is for you brothers that got young sons rolling around here. This is what you're going to have to do. Read verse 14 now.
Verse 14. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, say the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel.
Going down to verse 20.
Yes, sir. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, their tongue faileth, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, the Lord, will hear them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them.
God's not forsaking us. Go ahead.
I will open rivers in high places and fountains in the midst of valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water and the dry land springs of water.
Man.
I will plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittah tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree and the pine, and the box tree together. They that see me, they that may see and know and, that they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord hath done this, and the Holy One of Israel hath created it.
That's him. That's the Most High speaking comfortably to his son, instilling self-confidence, self-esteem, encouraging us not to fear. Go pull up the video. Now, you might not understand what all of this really is, right? So I'm gonna help you understand it in a layman's terms of what actually we just read, what God does to us, what you got to do to your son. It's called using affirmations, right? Read that for me, Officer Elisha.
Using affirmation, harnessing positive thinking. I'm never going to be able to do this job. I'm just not smart enough.
Blow it up some. We don't need that stuff in the blue on the side. So zoom in on it.
All praises. Scroll up. Why does my boss want me to present at the trade show? I'm a terrible public speaker and I'll just embarrass the company. I wish I could stick up for myself at work in every meeting. I let the others walk over my ideas. I'm never going to get ahead. Many of us have negative thoughts like these, sometimes frequently. When we think like this, our confidence, mood, and outlook can become negative too. The problem with negative thoughts is that they can become self-fulfilling prophecies. We talk ourselves into believing that we are not good enough. And as a result, these thoughts drag down our personal lives, our relationships, and our careers.
Yep, read on.
But if we deliberately do the opposite and use positive thoughts about ourselves, the effect can be just as powerful but far more helpful. In this article, we'll explore how you can use affirmations to drive positive change in your career and in your life in general.
So we're not going to read all of it, but what we just read right here in Isaiah 41 is positive affirmations. Where do you think your son, in being an Israelite in this society, is going to get his positive thinking from? Man, can you please answer? Let's see if somebody got a damn light turned on and connected the dots. Where is he going to get it from? Give it to up here in front, Zion. Who got the microphone? Stand up. Where is he going to get it from?
They're going to get it from us being fathers.
Going to get it from you having conversations with him as a father, telling him who he is, speaking confidence in him, speaking positive thinking into him, because when he leaves your side, all the world is against him. The scriptures say, ye shall be hated of all nations. Y'all don't think they hate y'all little kids? You crazy if you don't think that. They hate them just like they hate you and can't stand their little black ass. Especially coming in here thinking they different with these fringes on. These girls wearing these dresses and these head wraps. Calling princesses, I'm a prince of God and I'm an Israelite and we chosen. They hear that stuff at school. It's your job as a father to curb that by speaking comfortably to them with positive affirmations to give them positive thinking so that no matter what the world says, they don't believe it.
Right.
I can overcome all of that stuff. It don't matter because my daddy already told me who I was.
Could you get that? Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7? Get that for the fathers. Because they need to instill that in the sons.
Yes.
And Captain's letting you know, if you don't speak this to your children, they will never know their self-worth.
Nah.
Read that, Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7.
The book of Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.
You have to instill that in your child's mind.
Yep.
You call him, you a son of God. Think about this. If he walking with his head up high, all these kids are going to be like, yo, why he like that?
Not even just that, because a lot of brothers just, Bible beat they sons over the head when they don't quite understand it. How about, hey, you smart. You smart, right? You remember when you did that thing right there? I didn't have no idea how to do it, but you figured it out easy. You smart. That type of positive affirmations to a 10, 12, 15, 16-year-old can do wonders for him. But some of y'all ain't never said it to him. You tell your son, hey, boy, Speak up when you talk. Stand up, look a man in his eye, hold your head up, and look him in the eye. Let him know you ain't scared of him. Y'all son, yeah. Yes, Captain Zakar.
Hey, Cap.
Speak up. Speak like a
Hey,
man.
speak up,
Hey,
man.
Cap.
Can't hear you. Yeah, I want some food too. Yes, I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm. And because because y'all cut me the last class, because Gab brought it out. Y'all, do you tell your son you love him? I was like, yo, I don't do
worry,
it at all.
Don't worry about it. We're gonna get there.
Oh, all praises, all praises.
Play the next video. Oh, we're gonna get there. I got a lot to go through. We're gonna tear all this down. Ain't gonna be no more damn deadbeats and daddies around here. We're gonna be fathers, like the Bible say.
That's right.
Well, one thing I want to touch on that you mentioned, that Bible buddy father.
Yeah.
You men, your role is not just to go home and bully the precepts into your sons and not have, like you said, conversations with them. What's going on with them at school? What they're battling? What's this? What's that?
I gave a brother last week a little bit of advice on how to make the relationship better with his son. You know, he talking about, I go and do this. I tell him to come with me. I see that's the problem right there. You don't take no interest in what he like. What does he like? Oh, he likes doing this. Oh, so when the last time you actually did that with him? Never. That's why he ain't listening to you. That's why it's going in one ear and out there. That's why he ain't got no confidence. That's why he don't know if you love him all the time. You ain't taking interest in what he's taking interest in. And in return, what's going to happen with that son? If you take interest in what he's taking interest in, what in turn is going to happen to the son? Who knows? Just say it. Nobody knows. He's going to take interest in what you do. Okay. All right, we're building you up. I got a bunch of kids in the spirit. I ain't got no feelings, but I got a bunch of kids in there in the spirit. Y'all go home with them. I got them on the Sabbath. Y'all got them for the next 6 days, but damn it, y'all going to do something right during the week. If you take interest in what he does, in return, he's going to take interest in what daddy does, because daddy is the glory of my eyes. And daddy cares about me. Guess what? I care about what daddy cares about, what my father does. Right? Daddy's just a title we use. So, affirmation. Positive thinking. Let's see. Play that.
The fifth and final point I'd like to talk about is affirmation and how critically important it is for dads to show their daughters and their sons affirmation. And again, this is something that dads don't naturally think about as their kids get older. Dads think, well, my kids know I love them. I tell them I love them. But that's different from affirmation. Affirmation is showing your kids you believe in who they are and you love them because they are your son or your daughter. This is a really great way to teach your kids that they have value. One of the places I think we as parents go awry in our culture is we affirm our kids' performance. How many times have you been to a soccer game and you see all the parents, particularly the dads, clapping on the sidelines, yelling at their son or their daughter to work harder, run faster? Yeah, that affirms their athletic performance, but what it also teaches kids is, I need to keep performing in order to get my dad's attention. So what dads need to do is affirm a child's character instead of their performance. If a dad sees that his son has tenacity, he perseveres, he has integrity, he has courage, it's really important to say to your son, boy, I saw you work really hard at your algebra, and I know it's not easy for you. I'm so proud that you persevered. Same thing with a daughter. If you see that she's patient or empathetic, say, you know, I really watched how you interacted with your friend or your sister. I'm so proud of you for being empathetic. It's critical for boys in particular to feel that they have their dad's blessing, if you will, even when they're teenagers. We all know men who are in their middle ages who are still trying to prove something to their dads. And that's because they never got healthy affirmation from their dads. So some of the great ways that dads can affirm their kids is say, I love you because you're my son. I love you because you're my daughter. You are a gift to me from God. And then again, as I said before, affirm their character, not their performance.
Now,
Thank you so much.
You know why that's so heavy, especially in the Israelite community? The only time that some of us ever got affirmation or positive feedback from our fathers is when we scored 20, when we had 3 touchdowns, how many tackles we had, how many people we crossed over. That's the only time we got positive feedback from our father is when it was related to sports or something like that. It never was just, I love you just because you my son. And in turn, we got grown men out here. You don't do it either. You don't even know how to do it. It feels awkward to you to say that, to speak positive to your kid. You kind of stumble over yourself. Yeah, you did good today. Yeah. Good job. Good job. And that's about it. It don't. You know I love you, right? Right. Love you, right? Right. That's right. I love you. It ain't sincere with them. And we all grew up like that. But things got to change. Go to Deuteronomy 7:6. How she was talking about, it ain't even about how high you can jump, how much weight you can lift on the bar, how many sit-ups you can do. That's the least of my worries when it comes to you being my son. Read Deuteronomy 7. Let's read 6 through 8.
Shalom. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Affirmation, go ahead.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
You know how important this is now you can relate it to yourself from a father to a son, but just think about this, how good all of you all felt when the prophet read Deuteronomy 7:6 to you. Oh, it was like hitting the lottery. You mean to tell me I'm better than these daggone Chinese people, these white people out here? That's I knew I was. I just needed somebody to tell me. Oh, I was waiting to hear that all my life. Oh, I'm so glad you read it, Deuteronomy 7:6. Some of y'all that's my favorite scripture. Oh, Deuteronomy 7:6, my favorite scripture. You know why? Because it makes me feel good on the inside. It lets me know I'm better than everybody else. I can walk around with a pride like I never had before. I know that when I heard Deuteronomy 7:6, and I fully came to comprehend what it really meant when I looked out into society, because I seen the scripture, and I looked out into society, how it relates to me. It's like, okay, we the best. Okay, we was first open heart surgery. Hell, in slavery was making inventions. Right. We made the heater. We made the refrigerated 18-wheeler truck. Street light. We made cell phones. We made PlayStations. Hell, when it come to movies, Denzel's the best actor. Hell, when it come to basketball, Jordan's the best player. Tiger Woods the greatest ever in golf. Venus is the greatest in tennis. Damn, we the best in everything. You know what? These crackers can't tell me nothing no more. Get out. You crazy, you look down on you can't look down on me with that dog. Oh, you got dog hair too? Oh. Bring it out. I got God hair? Oh, I couldn't wait to hear that. Oh, this brown skin I got is blessed by God? Oh, you pink, red, peach devil, you?
Bring it out, bro.
Once I read that and got that self-affirmation from God, that self-esteem, I walked around with my head held high. Wasn't nothing I couldn't do. Whatever I want to do, and I know if it be the will of God, I know he got my back because he's my father. That's right. Same thing you got to instill in your children, that they can do whatever they put their mind to, that they special, and they need to hear it on a daily basis, not once every blue moon. Bring it out. Samson.
That same affirmation was given to us in Genesis as well. Genesis 25.
Stronger than the other people, right? Go ahead, Cam.
You know what? It's hard for us as men to give that affirmation. Mm-hmm. It's very hard. And I know.
Go ahead, because we're gonna get to it.
Yeah, I know a lot of us watching that video felt a little squirmish.
I saw the looks in some of y'all faces. I ain't gonna say that.
I know a lot of brothers' stomach
getting cut.
Dropped a little bit. But the reason why we got problems giving affirmation to our kids is because we don't have confidence in our own selves.
Yep.
So how can I give somebody confidence if I don't know how to give myself confidence?
Yep.
If I'm not a confident person myself, I can never make my son confident. I
Mhm.
can't give him anything. Why? Because we lack those things in ourselves.
Yep. It's hard to give what you ain't got. Go to the video, back to the video, redefining the role of a father, and let's start at 2 minutes. Start at 2 minutes. Going to another. That's it right there, ain't it? No, it ain't it. Yeah, you X'd it out already. Oh, come on, man. All right, go to Joshua 1, and let's read verse 5 through 9 while he finds that. Redefining the role of a father and start at 2 minutes when you get it. Read Joshua 1. Let's read verse 5 through 9 real quick.
The book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 5. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. And I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of a good courage. For unto this people shalt thou divide for inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee.
Be strong and courageous. Go ahead.
Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
That's the stuff you got to instill in your kids. Be strong and be courageous, because a lot of these young boys out here lack self-confidence. They lack self-esteem. They don't believe in who they want to be. Is back here, but is doubtful because their daddy or their father hasn't encouraged them to be strong and be courageous, and I am with thee. Go back to Deuteronomy 7, and I want to read verse 7 and 8, because I didn't get to the point. I got to verse 6 and got hype. Lord.
That's right. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
7.
Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you.
Stop. You see, when we watched the affirmation video, it wasn't based on the test scores or the points you scored or the weights you lift or how good you can dance and all of that. God said, I love you just because you're mine. That's the stuff you got to instill in your sons. I love you just because you're mine. Keep the commandments. All you got to do is keep the commandments until Christ come back. I love you because you mine. You came from me. You flesh of my flesh, bone of my bones. That's the confidence that a son needs to know, because it's a different confidence. And some of you brothers know it's a different confidence that you got, knowing that your father was in your life all your life, and some of y'all that didn't even know your father, or you only seen him once or twice in your life. It's a different kind of confidence that is between both of us. You can see it plain as day.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can spot it.
You can spot it. Sometimes it's in a positive way. More often it's at times in a negative way. Because you was never encouraged by your father, never told, I just love you because you're mine. Play that video from 2 minutes up.
That we're at ground zero at this epidemic. And I know everybody in this room, and I know many of you who are tweeting with us right now, you saw our first class, right? Everybody see it? On fatherless sons. Did you realize that it is as widespread an epidemic as it is? Did you realize that? Yeah. Okay. Why are we at ground zero?
This is Oprah, this is something that is a relatively new and dynamic phenomenon. This was only in a small portion of our society, but now it is all over, all income groups, all racial groups. The number of children growing up without their dads in America right now is
But it's
staggering.
not just that, though. It's not the person who isn't in the house. It's the person who's in the house and incapable of engaging in a meaningful
that's what I
conversation.
love that you said.
Because the problem is, so much of the father role that we just talked about is what you expected dad to do. The low tone voice of a man can make even a puppy stand still.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we have yet to find a way to crack the code of being able to get comfortable enough in ourselves as men to also be tender with our child. So many of the men in our audience and beyond don't have the emotional capacity to communicate their emotions.
So you're not fatherless just if your father's
No,
gone.
no.
Right.
It's a different kind of fatherless when your father is at home and not emotionally
You could
available.
send your kids to boarding school,
Yeah.
not physically be around them and still make them feel like you're there every day. You could have a child sleeping in the same bed next to you because your place is so small and they could feel like they don't know who you are.
I think that I would add the father who's absent, not there at all, the father who's there and emotionally disconnected, and particularly for the sons, the father who's there and sets a poor example.
Yeah.
The domestic violence,
Yeah.
the alcoholic, the physical abuser, because for my experience is that father demonstrates or models to the male child how to be man.
Now, but we about to open up a can of worms in here. Now, y'all might have thought this was a motivational class and I wanted you to just motivate your sons. Or just motivate them. You can do it. And it was going to be it. A lot of you all, I guarantee you don't kiss your sons, the manly kiss. You don't kiss your sons. You don't hug your sons. I guarantee you don't. It's what you do. Yes.
Like you said, Cap, or even the hug.
They don't. You know why? I don't see you do it here. Only person I really see do that is Captain Gad. With sons
I
in.
kiss the hell out of my
I see
sons.
it. You know, some of y'all, and especially in the Black Hispanic community, we don't know how to show affection to our sons because it was never shown to us. Some of us, the first time you dived into a man's hands and he's like, he brought you in, like, come on, man. And he hugged you like that. First thing you did, you broke down in his damn shoulder crying. You ain't never had a man hug you before. You ain't never had no affection, manly affection, to let somebody know that you care, that somebody cares about you. You ain't never had that, so you can't show it. You don't know how to be affectionate with your son to the point where they grow up knowing how to show affection. They grow up, ain't never had no affection from you, ain't never seen it in the house between you and your wife except when you wanted some sex. So they grow up and they get a wife and don't know how to show affection to them, and then they come up here for counsel for us. The only time he want to show affection to me is when he wants some sex. It's a damn 360 cycle. Cause we ain't fathers. We just disconnected daddies in the house. By a show of hands, who grew up in the house with a disconnected daddy? He was not emotionally there. By a show of hands. So raise your hand. Let's see. Okay. I knew it because hell. It's Israel.
For a Cap, like I said, I got cut.
And I know Levi. I know y'all. That's how
Yeah,
y'all,
yeah, we
y'all get down.
hardcore. We hardcore. I was cut last class, so I tried it. I kissed my son in the forehead. When I left, because I always give him vitamins before they go to sleep, so I kissed him on the forehead. So when I got up, his eyes was cocked open like
he shocked.
What did I do?
Daddy!
He thought Daddy about to whoop his behind. What did I do, Poppy?
You're like, this not normal. You're like, this is. I see his eyes were cocked open like this man just kissed me on my forehead. It does something to you. Watch this. Give me just like what Cap was saying.
Hold on. Let me get this script. Let me get this first, because this is gonna hit it. Give me Luke 15. So for you fathers that are our daddies, you in the realm of a daddy right now. You're emotionally disconnected from your son in your own house. It's okay to show affection to your sons. It's okay. Here's the scriptures. Luke 15. Let's start 11. Let's read 11 through 20.
The book of Luke, chapter 15 and verse 11. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that fathered to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the young son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and sent him into his fields to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants.
Now look what the father did.
And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off,
out in the distance, go ahead,
his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck.
On what?
And fell on his neck.
On his son's neck and did what?
And kissed him.
It's all right to show emotion or affection to your sons. There's your precept for it. If you didn't know how to do it, you didn't know it was in the book of life, there it is. A father showing affection to his son. That's what's you. And I know you ain't got to tell me. I already know some of y'all in a house full of women, and it's just enough to get 6 hours of straight good sleep, and you got sons in there, and they just get caught up in the 2,000, 10,000 words that are spoken in there, and you just want to get somewhere where it's quiet and you don't want nobody to bother you. So everybody is just leave me alone. But you got to show affection to your sons, the manly affection that they need, so they in turn can grow up and know how to, what's that word? Project it onto other people. That's why so many of our black and Hispanic men walk around the streets. Dude, I'm telling you, I'll be in Sam's Club. Two people in an aisle, and another Israelite walk down. Hey, what's up, man? Oh, what's up? What's up, man? What's up? What's up? He's shocked as hell that I spoke to him. He's just so hard up all the time. Damn, he spoke to me. Hey, what's up, man?
Right. Or even smile. Like,
smile.
Hey, what's going on,
hey,
brother?
What's going on, brother? Hey, what's up, man? Damn, it's pretty normal for two people to be in an aisle and say something to each other. It's awkward as hell not to speak to each other. But they ain't had no affection. They don't know how to not let your guard down as a man, just how to be cordial with other people because you're so hard up. They ain't getting it from home. It's okay to show affection to your sons. Go to the hug article. So the question is, how often do you hug your son? How often do you give him that manly kiss that he needs, that encouragement? Not only just speaking confidence into him, but are you affectionate with him? Go to that. The hug article on there. It should be already up. All right. Read that for me, Officer Elisha.
4 reasons why hugs are good for you. The world would be so much better if we could just hug everything out. Make your world better with the all-powerful hug. Hope the words are black down there. Blow it up some more.
Yeah, just read 1 through whatever.
Number 1?
Yeah.
1. Hugs ward off illness. In 2015, a study conducted by Sheldon Cohen, a professor of psychology in
Carnegie Mellon
University's
Dietrich
College of Humanities and Social Science found that frequent hugs actually protected people from increased susceptibility.
Okay, I got it. Increased susceptibility to the kind of stress that leads to infection. And participants who were sick exhibited fewer symptoms when they were hugged more often. Okay. Number 2, hugs release oxytocin. Oxytocin, yeah. I had it this morning. Oxytocin. So oxytocin is often called the love hormone. No wonder so many black men are just, I'll kill you. First, I'll kill you,
ain't never
nigga.
been hugged, Cap.
Ain't never been hugged. That's why when they get a hug, they bust out crying.
Hey, Cap, watch this. A lot of times, our Shalom brothers, but like Shalom, brother, Messiah Christ bless. And I go in. And
they all, yeah.
Yeah, Shalom brothers.
I'm
like, come here, man.
They do this. They hit you with this. And you coming in. They already like this.
Hey, not with me. I'll grab it.
Brothers,
come here, boy.
Do that. They already do that. Like, oh, I'm going.
You gonna get a hug today.
It's called the love hormone, and it's released when we cuddle or bond. It's the reason why being hugged feels so good. So scientifically, now you know why. The oxytocin is released in your body. So when you're feeling down, give someone a squeeze and feel your mood lift. Hugs make you feel like everything will be okay. We instinctively hug those who are struggling. When you receive a hug from someone you care about or who makes you happy, it can generally leave you feeling safe and excited for the future. How much more with our sons going out before they go out to school? Give them a hug and a kiss. And I'll see you when you get home. Do good in school today. Guarantee you'll see them grades rise. You'll see a change in their spirit, their attitude. Number 4, hugs cut down on stress. You probably know that cortisol is a stress hormone, but did you know that hugs can actually combat cortisol? The science of this is pretty involved, but essentially a hug can lower cortisol levels and counteract the physiological consequences around being stressed. We may hesitate to touch each other for fear of overstepping personal boundaries or making someone feel uncomfortable, but sometimes it's worth the risk to hug it out. If you're unsure of whether a hug is welcome, just ask. You don't have to make it weird or simple. Can I give you a hug? Will do. Sometimes a hug can change someone's day, and it only takes seconds. Hug your loved ones and friends more. Show them you care, and you'll also reap the benefits. So action is behind that encouraging that you give to your sons. Action is behind that. Or affection is behind that with just a hug. Hell, now go to the video of why do dads need to show their kids affection.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Why do dads need to show their kids affection?
One thing I want to say is that one thing I do know is that a lot of times men actually want to do those things. Sometimes men actually want to do it, but sometimes it be the woman to stop them from doing it. I'll give you an example. Your son is acting out, right? Son acting out. You are pushed to physically handle him instead of emotionally dealing with him. As a woman, the woman may look at you, no. I want you to physically do something. And the father is like, no. I'm going to deal with it on a emotional point of view.
Like a man would.
Like a man
in
would.
This situation.
And a lot of times as wives, that's what they hinder that when it comes to the father building up the son emotionally.
Yeah. Where the video at? Why do dads need to show their kids affection? Okay. Play that.
The second thing I'd like to talk about that's critical for dads to do, both with their sons and their daughters, is give them affection. You know, giving kids affection is fairly easy when they're young because kids run up to you, they want to sit on your lap, they want to hug you, and life feels kind of easy. But once girls in particular hit puberty, something changes. And many fathers get their feelings hurt because they try to hug their 12-year-old daughter and she stands there like a telephone pole with barbs all over her. Dads take this personally and they back off. That's the last thing you want to do, because teenage girls, even more than younger girls, need affection from their dads. Many times dads forget that sons need affection too. It's really important to touch them, to hug them. And as they get older, you don't have to give them a frontal bear hug, but touch them on the shoulder, touch them on the head, just touch their arm. Let them know that you see them and that you love them. Believe it or not, showing your kids affection is one of the best ways to boost their self-esteem. Dads and moms often think in order to get their kids to feel valuable and better about themselves, they need to sign them up for a lot of stuff. Soccer, football, piano lessons, ballet, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, once kids understand that dad wants their company, that he sees them and he loves them enough to give attention, often that's all they need for their self-esteem to be boosted.
So you see the effects of just being affectionate. It can do way more. And this is what happens when you don't get it. So be warned, fathers. Play that. And this is why a lot of them don't. Yeah. Yeah, play that. There we go. There's a lot of times why you don't show it.
All those years I've been sitting in prison, you know, I'm sitting there with a sober mind. I'm not familiar with this new guy. I don't know William. William has always lived a life trying to please others. I justified it in the fact that as long as my family is okay, I'm all right.
Excuse me? What did he say?
As long as his family's okay, he's all right.
Because this is the exact same words you spoke to me the first day I met you. Same exact words. It ain't about me, it's about my sisters. I gotta make sure they are okay. And look where it took him. And I told you that day, you are exactly where your father was at this time of his life, right on the edge. Listen to what he's saying to you.
I had a lot of resentments to your granddaddy.
And he made you feel what?
He made me feel like
What did we talk about? You were a what?
Failure.
And a...
Disappointment.
And a... Less than...
Less than a man.
I should have left him. I should have left him. I hate that you suffered.
You know, he didn't know how to be a father. That's why I had always said that when I have a boy, we're gonna be friends.
Did you know how to be his father?
No, not at all. I didn't.
Let him know I didn't know how to be your father.
I didn't know. It's all good, man.
Share with them what your truth is.
It's
what the addiction was about for you.
Pause it. Now, a lot of you all come from that same background. A lot of you sisters grew up just like that. There was a man in the house, but he didn't know how to be a father. He was a daddy or he was a deadbeat. And you got pain built up from 20, 30 years of never having a father. So you ain't, in turn, right now, you ain't a father to your son. You just a daddy that's around. You might be verbally abusing your son, or you might not even doing nothing verbal at all to your son. They just a shell.
Right. Or you're just neglecting. That's also abuse. When you're neglecting the necessities that it takes to raise a son.
Go to the next video of he waited almost 10 years. So if I know a lot of you all, this is where you at right now. It's where you at right now in your spirit, but we building you up. You got time to change. Go ahead.
Important in that he matters. Tell him your story. Tell him the truth. That you were fatherless and didn't know how to father. Can you tell your son that?
I never had a father, son. Never. Never showed up any games, anything like that. I know you like basketball. I want to be at all those games. I want to show you. I want to show you that. I want to show you that I love you. I want to give you all the love that I have for you. I want to show that to you. I want to be here, and I'm going to be here.
Make a commitment to
I can't have that. I can't. Me talking to you on the phone with a cold voice, and then I tell you that I love you and I don't hear it back. That hurts. I don't want to feel that pain anymore. I don't want to feel that.
Do you love him? Yes. Can you trust his love?
Yes.
You sure? Let him know I'm gonna trust you.
I'm gonna trust you.
But Daddy, your hurt is not his responsibility. Your hurt is not his responsibility. He can't handle that.
For every one of you that got sons in here and you ain't yet attained to the level of being a father to them, the hurt that you experienced in your past is not your son or your daughter's fault. You can't use that excuse, basically, that I was fatherless. I didn't grow up with one, so I don't know how to be a father. That's why the Lord put on our spirit to do this class. That cannot be used as an excuse no more, because we've given you the scripts of how to build yourself up. Your pain that you had as a child without a father is not your children's responsibility to take on.
Hey, Cap, also, you got to know, the young man, she said something, the young man, he cannot handle that hurt.
Yep.
A lot of times our children are at the age where they cannot process the decisions that we as adults have made. The choices that we make in life, a lot of times, not a lot of times, all of the time, your children, your sons cannot process it. They don't know how to handle it. And the way they translate that anger is acting out, rebellious, fighting. They get into things where now they use it to get the attention from you.
Yep. So
let me
go ahead.
And we as fathers, it's difficult. That's something that, like this class is real hitting home for me, because a lot of it really resonates with my childhood coming up. My wife can tell you, but we as fathers have to not blame our sons.
No,
Real talk.
Take it out on them.
Take it out on them, because
by neglecting them.
They can't process that.
Yep. So before we go to this, go to 2 Corinthians 5:17. I'm gonna read it. It's what I wrote down. It says, "We as fathers let our past childhood pain affect us today, and it gets projected out onto your sons, repeating the same cycle of daddies and deadbeats and never actually becoming fathers." 2 Corinthians 5:17.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5 and verse 17. "Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new."
So if you are in that realm of where you are a daddy and you ain't quite became the best father you can be, sit down with your son and have that talk and let him know where you came from. They wasn't alive. They was in your loins when you was getting neglected by your father and had to fend for yourself growing up. Let them know what you learned and how you was raised, and let them know that you're going to do better from this point on. All that stuff that I heard today, or Captain Zakar and Captain Gad Severus and all them brought out, we're going to start over, and I'm going to build you up into the son you're supposed to be. I'm going to be a father to you that I haven't been all the days of your life. Now go to the next video. Northern Kingdom, you ain't exempt either.
Me growing up with my dad wasn't too affectionate. Like, I don't think he has ever told me that he loves me, and I'm fine with that,
Nunca les he dicho mucho que los quiero, pero de que los quiero.
Growing up, even though my father never expressed verbally how much he loved me, gave me a different mindset of when I had my own kids, to make sure I did express that to them, so they do know how much I love them and how much I care for them.
How would you describe your relationship with your dad?
That's a long thought, ain't it?
He's kind of someone that isn't very expressive with his emotions.
Yeah, my dad is he's a very serious person. He doesn't like to joke around at all.
No, I don't think I've ever heard my dad say I love you.
What's up, man?
What's up? What are you doing here?
That's what's up.
Why, you guys didn't tell me.
Hey, stop. Stop.
Hey, it's gonna show itself at the end. Let it play. They pick it up on it. They see it. Go ahead.
What's up? ¿Estás haciendo famoso?
Sí, pues.
Dad, I have a letter for you.
A letter. All right.
Dad, growing up in a place like this is tough. We live in a place where fireworks and gunshots are just an indistinguishable noise. We can sleep through the sirens and helicopters, gang members are our neighbors, and even stepping outside could be dangerous.
Pops, I wish there were enough words to express how thankful for you I am. As I continue to grow, I realize just how much of you is a part of who I am.
Papá, te quiero dar las gracias por todo tu esfuerzo y las largas horas de trabajo. Sé bien que esa lucha siempre fue pensando en tu familia.
You got through the gangs and the violence and became a stronger person and didn't stoop to the low levels of the society has created. Through all of this, you decided to have me and raise me to be better than the people around us.
I'll do something and I'll think, wow, I'm just like my dad. It was kind of annoying at first, but now I feel so lucky that we're alike. Making the decision to take on fatherhood at such a young age is one thing, but taking it on with such focus and dedication takes heart.
Quiero agradecerte por enseñarme a vivir con humildad y respeto, por aconsejarme que no hay que ser tan ambicioso, pero a la vez tener ambición y trabajar honestamente para que la familia no pase por dificultades y poder vivir bien.
I can remember you taking me to the movies when you barely had enough money. You couldn't afford to take me to Knott's or Disneyland like the other kids, but you took me to fish stores to stare at fish for hours. That became one of our best father and son activities. You showed me that even living in a place like this, you can do great things and become a great person. And that's what you're trying to show, not just me, but the community of South Central and LA. You're not only being a role model to me, but to the people of LA who can't find a lot of people to look up to around here.
No creo ser una persona ejemplar, pero creo que no andamos muy mal. Gracias a tus consejos y por guiarme por el buen camino. Mi respeto, admiración y cariño para ti.
You're done showing me what's best, so now you have to move on to the community and teach them everything you taught me by setting aside differences and helping everyone come together as a community. I love you, Dad. Thanks for everything.
Love you too. Go ahead.
I'm proud to be your son, and I'm thankful for the blessing of a father that I have. And I love you so much, Pops. Thank you, brother. I love you too. I love you.
No cabe duda que mi viejo es un viejón. Quiero mucho, papá.
Awkward.
I got a little emotional, like, hearing all that. I don't really hear too much positive things about me too much, but it's good to hear them. That's one of the things about being a father, like, you're never really told that you're doing a good job. You just gotta hope and pray that you are doing a good job. And I think just looking at my son, like, I'm very proud of him.
All right, so let's stop it right there. What did y'all notice about all three of them? The what? Stand up and say it, somebody. Well, the hug. What was it? It was very awkward. You know why? Because behind that, they had the sons. He's at least 17, 18 years old. Might even be a freshman in college. He said, I've never heard my father tell me he loves me. And when he did, oh, I love you, son. It was very nonchalant. And behind that, the action, the affection that goes behind the word I love you was like this. The older man came in there like this. Because that word hasn't been often said to the child from the father, therefore the action behind it didn't match up. And I bet some of y'all like that here too. Some of y'all grew up like that. Go to the video Clifford Browning. So that's something we got to change. Got to change that.
Like my parents divorced when I was 7 years old, so it was tough. I said my parents didn't always get along. Just honestly, they didn't. So I think it kind of made it tough on my dad as a father because of some things with my mom. I went a period of time where I didn't even see my dad. So I grew a little anger towards my father, but then
hold on, pause it right there.
Me and my dad talked, and
I just want to mention this too about not seeing. Some of y'all got sons from other marriages, or you're not with the woman that you had a son with, and y'all neglect them boys. I'll tell you straight up. We know about you. We ain't said nothing to you, but you neglecting them boys, and they gonna grow up angry at you when you. I don't know the situation with all of them, but some of y'all can bring them here, and there's nothing keeping you back from bringing them here and being around you, at least some, and you don't do it at all. Them boys gonna grow up to hate you. Tell you that right now. Straight up hate you. Because you see it right here from just one person. It's millions of boys that feel the same way. I didn't grow up seeing my dad, so I grew angry because I thought he didn't want nothing to do with me. Y'all better check your spirit when it comes to that. If you can get them here, at least for the weekend, bring them here. Go back to the video, run it back some.
So it was tough. I said my parents didn't always get along. Just honestly, they didn't. So I think it kind of made it tough on my dad as a father because of some things with my mom. I went a period of time where I didn't even see my dad. So I grew a little anger towards my father. But then once me and my dad talked and he broke it down to me, I explained some things to me. You know, I realized that it wasn't his fault and that he did want to be my father because at one point in time, I didn't think he wanted to be my dad because I didn't see him. And then when he talked to me, he's just like, man, you carry my name. You're my son. You know, my dad grew up pretty tough. He never told me he loved me till he was on his deathbed.
Pause it.
When I was in college, you know.
He never told me he loved me till he was on his deathbed. That dude's in his 30s. Never heard it. Make sure that ain't the situation with some of you and your sons. You might not be, you're not used to saying it, practice saying it in the damn mirror until it becomes second nature and you can tell your son that you love him every day before he goes out the doors into this world dealing with all the people that hate him, dealing with Esau and all these images of these Edomites telling him that he ain't nothing. He needs to know somebody loves him other than his mama. Mama tell him all the time, Daddy, I love you. You know I love you, right? Oh, wait, right. That ain't the same thing saying I love you. You know I love you, right? It's not the same. All right. Let me see how much time I got. Okay, I got some time.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
But what he said was very important too. Like his father, though his father had a situation going on, he still went out of his way and confirmed, let him know, listen, the problem is not me, but I'm making enough effort to show you, listen, you are mine. You carry my name.
Yeah.
Remember, we brought that out earlier. So I'm glad that he said that the father at least made an attempt to let him know, listen, I'm still part of your life. Most of you brothers is not making that effort.
Yep.
Instead, he just, okay, a little bit of problem. I got child support freedom. I'm good. All right, I see you when I see you now. Oh, you say you need them J's? Hey, here, we'll buy them J's for him. Let him know his daddy bought it. No, make an effort. If you make an effort, all praises, and then you just leave it up to the Most High. And pray that the Lord will put it in his spirit later on to come and find you and keep the commandments.
And I'll tell you, man, it dawned on me I was reading this morning, it dawned on me, and I thought to myself, 'cause I'm reading and I'm doing the class about father stuff, and it dawned on me like, damn, some kids I ain't seen around here in months, but I still see they daddies, they fathers coming, but I ain't seen them. They just ought to disappeared. Hey, have y'all seen him? I ain't seen that boy in about 5 or 6 months. What's going on with him? Where is he at? And then I get a whole story of excuses.
And brothers, I want y'all to know, we see it.
Oh yeah.
You brothers know who you are. We see it. That's why Cap asked the question, and we couldn't even respond. Like, damn, we haven't seen that little boy.
And you know it's the spirit of the Lord, because 6 months I ain't thought about him, but this class come out, and he's the only kid I thought of. Where's he at? I have not seen him and it's been at least 5, 6. Well, I said, we're in the 7th month. It's been at least 5, 6 months, maybe even more since I seen that boy. Where's he at, y'all? They couldn't even give me an answer. When I finally got an answer, it was a bunch of excuses. Go to Jeremiah 31. Jeremiah chapter 31, and let's read. Nah, you know what? We skipping all those. We skipping those. All right. We gonna get straight to it right here. Go to the. Okay. All right. Go to Proverbs 16:24. I don't want to read Jeremiah. Go to Proverbs 16:24.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 24.
Real quiet in here now, ain't it? Go ahead.
Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones.
Read it again.
Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones.
There's no more pleasant words that a son can hear is from a father. I love you, son. Let me see, I wrote that. I love you, son, are some of the most pleasant words that a son could hear, especially in his adolescent years, where he's growing up and everything seems confusing. Let me show you this. Go to the video. I think I posted it in there. I didn't write it down, but I think I posted it. Some of you all have got teenage kids and you've given up on them already. Play the video that is after the depression article. It started at 5 minutes. It's the 3 black fathers in a conversation. The most pleasant words that a son can hear is that I love you, son. And not just in his little cute growing up Mickey Mouse years, but as he becomes a man through his teenage years and into his manhood. Let's prove it. Play that.
Yeah. But I think from that point on, like, I knew that he was like the standard to beat, you know. And it's not even like a super challenging thing or whatever, but I think he kind of set like this thing in my mind where it's kind of like, you know, there's certain things men do and there's certain things men don't do, and I have to, because even like my dad wasn't there, so but all our older cousins and our friends raised us. Kids who were a year or two older than us taught us how to talk to girls, taught us how to work, taught us how to get money, taught us how to treat old people, like everything. You know what I mean? And so when you relinquish your hold on your child, you give access to other people to raise them, you know what I'm saying, for you. And so my dad, you know, he's a great guy, you know what I'm saying, like amazing. But I know that I know where he was, and I know what I needed. You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to be in my mind what I think I needed, which is like always involved. I never stopped parenting. I think my dad was like, at 18, it's over. But I realized I needed a lot of parenting at 19, 20, 21, 22. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I know that also, like, the biggest moments in my life, the parts where hardest in my life, like 13, that age, that middle school age, where you suck at everything. And
13, that middle school age where you can't get, you got a big ass pimple on your nose, you can't hide it, you don't want to go to school because everybody gonna joke on you. Everybody got that, went through that, the pimples on the face. At 13, the middle school, run it back some. But he also mentioned one thing too. He said, I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I still needed a father. Some of y'all, these kids get of age and you let them go. You don't talk to them. You don't keep building them up. Let it play.
Moments in my life, the parts where hardest in my life, like 13, that age, that middle school age where you suck at everything and everything's falling apart and you care about your friends and all that, that's when I needed the most care. So I know that me and my kids are cool now, but at 13, 12, like that time is when I really need to be a dad. You know what I'm saying?
Pause.
Because that
Self-examination. Some of these kids that come to young prophets, I ain't got time to let you all right now. Some of these kids come to young prophets are right in the middle school age, going right into high school, and got low self-esteem.
So
ground zero self-esteem.
Right. So basically what the brother's saying is the level of fatherhood has to, what's the word? You got to level up. It's a constant progress to fatherhood as your kids progress to adulthood.
Yep.
It's not the same level. You cannot raise a 13-year-old how you would raise him when he was 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. It's a progress of adulthood.
Yeah, and
to like the progress of fatherhood.
And the thing is, when the kid is like 2-3 years old, a lot of you are, oh, that's my son. You're affectionate. You hold him on your arm. You're proud of him. All of that stuff. He starts getting 10, 12, 13 years old, and you go from holding him in your arm to you more and more and more distant. When he needs you, the more and more and more to be close. That's for you that got sons in the Young Prophets program. You fall right in that category when they need you the most. Pull up the article of depression real quick.
Can I say something for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I do want to say is for sisters with kids, dealing with a man that's trying to prove you, or you get into a proving process, and you got kids, and that man has never showed any interest in your kids, he ain't the one.
Nope.
He is not the one for you.
Make sure
and
he
it
ain't
goes
He's only there for who?
Right.
Who is he only there for?
He's only there for you.
That's it.
And you
There you
come
go.
with the kids. That's the full
There you
package.
go.
You don't put your kid aside to be taken by a man. Your kid now has been neglected. And one thing that we do see is even when brothers marry a sister with kids, the son is neglected. You got to understand, you are now that son's father.
Yeah, and they need you.
You are now that son's influence.
Yep.
The same thing with brothers that, you touched it last week, brother don't even have your phone number. How can you call yourself, oh, that's my son, but you about to marry his mother and he don't even got access to you? That's not a father. That's not being there for him.
That's daddy borderline deadbeat. Exactly what it is. So depression, right? Depression in black boys begins earlier than you think. They might be going around here smiling, shooting basketball, going play pool with us in the Issachar spot, but you can mask depression with a smile. And depression is in these black and Hispanic boys earlier than you think, and they ain't telling you. Scroll down some. I'm going to read this article real quick. It says, I'm going to read from 2001 to 2015, the suicide risk for black boys between the ages of 5 and 11 was 2 to 3 times higher than that of white boys, according to a new research letter in JAMA Pediatrics. This concerning trend continues through adolescence as reported by the Nationwide Youth Risk Behavior Survey. The rates of attempted suicide include attempts that resulted in an injury, poisoning, or overdose are 1.2 times higher among black males compared to white males. These persistent trends are enrooted in life expectancy disparities that black boys face. Fatherless sons. The APA Working Group in Health Disparities in Boys and Men recently released a report on health disparities in racial blah, 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 which includes a review of research which may help to explain this increase in suicide in black boys. Let's see. Okay, that's it on that. All right, so Play the last video of 8 ways a father can reconnect. So these are some solutions. We've been giving them all day, but here's some honed in solutions that you can start applying to build your son up, to reconnect with them, get out of the deadbeat category, get up to pass up the daddy category and go straight to the father one. Play that video.
So here's something I would say to men. So we've got all of these issues we have to deal with. A lot of guilt out there. A lot of folk don't have a relationship with their kid. They don't know whether the kid likes them. They don't know how to even broach forming a relationship. We should just really begin to share something unique just with our sons. Just something that we say. I don't
You
do
say
that for
cook a meal
anybody
together.
else.
Cook a meal.
Cook a meal. Even if you don't know how to cook, just say, yes, son, look, we're going to both burn up some food together because this is going to be my special thing. You know what that kid will say? Me and my father, he can't cook a lick. You know what? I had to show him how to cut the onions. He didn't know.
Forever, though.
Forever,
But forever, he will remember that. Take a day off of work and go on a school trip, you say.
Just take, fathers never come on the school trips. They don't think it's the role for them. Here they're going to be about a bunch of little kids, not their own. A lot of guys just don't feel comfortable, but everybody would say, who's that guy? That's your father? Every kid must say, that's my father.
Fathers are like pink elephants.
Yes.
They come in like, shut up, you got a dad? No, you don't.
Yes.
Stop lying.
It is
Really?
true. They are absent.
For real?
They are absent from a kid's life. Just show up. You will be such a star in that kid's classroom.
Go to
and their
parent-teacher
environment.
conferences.
Look, again, here's an issue. A lot of times the men don't feel, because they're not the main educator in how, they don't feel like they should even show up to these kinds of things. And it matters. It matters to that teacher, but it matters to your son to know that my dad showed up for this and said some things to me. Right? Said, look, son, you got to be responsible. That's so important. And this doesn't cost you any money. Take a day off just for your son. Say, son, I can't afford to do it, but I love you so much that I'm going to take the day off. These things will stay with a boy forever, because that connection that my dad loves me, it doesn't mean they're going to listen to you. Doesn't mean they're going to do everything. They're going to just believe that you love them. We know our mothers love us. You know that? I don't mean, everybody else know my mom, she loved me. And why, they there all the time, everything. Your dad, you don't know that they love you. They haven't done one thing to show you that they love you, not one sacrifice. And this is not about checks. It's about, how do you spend your time? How is it that you show this kid that you are so important to me that I put you above everything else?
Okay, so show up at school just because, go to the school play, show up at graduation. For God's sake, show up at the graduation.
No, you say it like it, you say it, I'm telling you. You say it like...
Of course you show up at the graduation.
Right. Good luck with that.
So if you need some ways to reconnect and might not have known where to start at with your son who's of age, maybe you got sons on the way or got little sons, because we probably won't do a class like this for a long time again, but use those ways to reconnect with your sons so they can grow up into that strong, confident, encouraged Israelite man that they are. And we don't have to repeat the cycle of building up Israelite man again for another generation. We don't have time to keep starting from ground zero and building. You be a lost generation. Now we got to start with the kids. It'll take forever for us to get the hell up out of here. So you become the father you supposed to be. Get out of the category of a deadbeat or a daddy. Let's go back over those one more time. We're going to end the class on those. Go ahead.
Before we do that, brothers, one thing I would say is that everybody up here at this table has been through exactly what we all feeling right now. If you need what's the word I'm looking for? A way to get it out, you can talk to us, bro. Because trust me, we all been through it. Because a lot of brothers I'm looking at right now look like you need to talk. No, I'm being for real. I'm not even joking. Look like you need to talk. And if because talking it out is the only way that you're gonna be able to move on. Covering it up, holding it in, it's only gonna last so long. You're gonna get to a point and when you just gonna snap. And you know you're gonna snap on? Your kids, your sons, your daughters. So this is my proposal to all the fathers out there who need somebody to talk to. You got men up here that you can talk to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know this class was geared towards the men, the fathers, but for the sisters who are single mothers and have sons, we are those fathers you need to bring those sons up to. All right?
So, like I was saying earlier, this is what I wrote down for what a father was. Fathers build mentally strong and confident boys by guiding, talking to, and leading them through their toughest years of life until they become men that are able to handle those tough situations on their own while being affectionate enough to show them what love is supposed to look like. That's what a father does. That takes paying attention. That takes being involved. Next one. Daddies are only present when there is a problem. That's that in the house and emotionally disconnected man. Are only present when there is a problem and occasionally show attributes of a father, but not consistently enough to make anyone believe that he is one. They also provide the necessities of life, but not much more to their sons. They are just there. Next one. Deadbeats. Deadbeats only show up on special occasions and pay child support. They know nothing about their kids and don't care to know because they care more about themselves than the life they created. They occasionally show attributes of a daddy by providing the necessities of life when practically begged to do it. Give me Proverbs 17:6. We ended on this. Just as a reminder for you, brothers.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 6. Children's children are the crown of old men.
Grandfathers,
And the crown and the glory of children are their fathers.
The glory of each and every one of your sons in here, brothers, is you. The world may be against you. You might have trouble with in the flesh with your wife, but one thing that is consistent and you can bank on, your son, your daughter, you are the glory of their eyes, and they hang their life on you. They get their confidence from you, their name from you, their direction from you. So it's not a job that you can slack on, because you got a great responsibility to increase the nation to be better and better and better. And it starts with you being a father.
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are the Israelites. That's right.
It's so hard to serve God. And why when I say that I'm a Jew, it sound odd. For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.